needs glyphs. So he's not AP. He hasn't ruined or mastered up for ability power. So he might be doing something different, like we've seen from that Caitlyn in the mid.
But of course, that could all change once we go further. That could just be for his pure power in that lane phase here up against Lux. We can see on your screens there, SK Gaming headed down on the bottom side of the Fnatic jungle. We'll see if they stick around for that one. Going to be a very deep invade towards going down on that south side curve bush, one up on the Wraith bush as well. So SK going to have a lot of vision here of that Fnatic jungle. The question is whether Fnatic at this point are going to go and try the same over on the top side.
Fnatic have just gotten full vision of the SK lineup as they've walked over a ward. You can see that on the ping. So Fnatic have got the information advantage in this particular battle right now. They're going to try and get into position, and there are some wards left for SK. So we may actually see a very exciting level 1. Currently, Fnatic have the positional advantage as well as the vision advantage, because that ward that they had in the bush, they can see Nif. If Enrated gets a good Blitzcrank hook, they might be able to pick up first blood, and this is a very tense start. Enrated's going to go.
Oh, he's going to go for the hook, and he will pull Nif through. There's an instant flash away from Nif, and wow, he was hovering over that button. You could tell the speed that he hit that there was top-notch from Nif. Just saved his own life.
So he had to burn flash to do that. What that means is if he gets caught out by a hook in lane, he is going to go down. He has no safety now in order to get away. We did see Enrated burn his ignite in that particular engage, so they did trade Summon Spell for Summon Spell, but you'll gladly trade that escape ability of flash over ignite. And they've caught Candy!
Candy Panda getting hooked in there as well, and he will have to burn his flash just to get away from that side. There's a queue of Yellowstar already connecting in, so flash has burnt for both Candy Panda and Nifia. This is not the start they were looking for. As you can see, Hercubot has stolen that red buff away now. We'll see if Fnatic with Mundo go into the top side of the SK jungle to try and do the same.
Very well played by SK. They actually come out better in this situation because they've lost. Did they lose red buff? I'm trying to see. Yes, so they did lose red buff as well. Traded it back and forth, but they've got positional advantage, and the pressure's now on Yellowstar and Enrated in the top lane. As we see Hercubot level 2, can he get the taunt onto Soaz? Soaz does have flash available and blows that very early.
Yeah, was trying to dodge there from Hercubot, but in the end decided using the flash was going to be safer at that moment. I apologize for wondering if Mundo was going to take the red buff from the SK side. He'd already taken it that little bit earlier on from that one, just so that we're up to date with that. There's another pull, going to land in onto Nif. No flash available. Exhaust goes down. Have they got enough damage? One more Q. There it is. First blood, but Yellowstar going very low. Candy Panda goes in. Final auto attack will get the kill. But Cannon Rated, he's surely not got the damage here as Blitzcrank. Gonna do a lot of damage there, but not quite finish off. 1-1.
So they trade 1-for-1. First blood does go to Urgot. And what I was trying to say is that in this particular matchup, Urgot needs to get ahead and stay ahead. If he starts falling to the Varus Janna lane, he's not going to be able to get tanky enough to survive the damage, and you need to have a tanky, beefy Urgot in this situation. He's trying to rush what looks like a brutalizer, but the Rocket Grab just misses there from Enrated.
And just flashing by. Candy Panda obviously ready for that one as Hercubot will be taking his first blue of the game. Obviously he stole the red buff away from Fnatic in reaction to his own red buff being taken earlier. Mid lane, 19-16 here. We did see the Elixir plus pot start coming out for Xpeke, and there is the first pink ward of this game going down for Enrated to clear out vision of the Tribush.
The pink war has begun between supports, and we'll see who can control the vision. Xpeke with Ezreal in this mid lane against Lux has the ability to actually deal damage even if he gets caught by a light binding, depending on the distance between himself and Ocelot. And of course that Mystic Shot range is particularly good. So we'll see how he continues to skill up that Ezreal and Bill, but at the moment he's preferring his Q over his W, which does make you think it might be an AD build.
Yeah, exactly my thoughts from that one as well. Down in the pink wall, as we talked about earlier on. Nif wins that miniature battle, as we are going to see the pull coming here on towards Candy Panda. He's going to be locked on, but do they have the damage to finish off? Yellowstar just backing away. Howling Gale comes in. There is barrier used, and Yellowstar now the one in trouble, but they backed away from him. Ignite comes down, the shield come out from Janna, and that's surely going to save Candy Panda. Really tense stuff here in this top lane.
Ladies and gentlemen, a Classico is here, and it is delivering already. 1-to-1, both AD carries are low. Exhaust and Flash is burned for Yellowstar, but Enrated does have his Flash available. Hercubot was putting himself in a position to maybe pick an engagement, but he decided to back away. They know that Fnatic do not have vision of that Tribush, and thanks to Candy Panda's potions and getting some additional HP back with those Doran's Blades, he is sustaining better than that of Yellowstar, and that's obviously going to play into his favor.
insane start to this one, as we'd probably expect from El Clasico. As I said earlier on, we've seen this mid lane now. Peke got the advantage in terms of mana here. Ocelot's running dangerously low with that one. Does have that fairy charm for a little bit of regen in there, but it's already going up towards a 10 CS lead for that Ezreal in there, as Kevin here going to go on towards Soaz, gets the stunning, dashes away.
Well played by Soaz, landing that cocoon, immediately dissipating the amount of pressure that could come down from Kevin's Aurelia. And it's a lane matchup we haven't looked at too much right now, but Soaz is falling behind. He's 15 creeps behind that of Kevin's Aurelia already, and his lane is actually pushing. So I imagine he's spending more time focusing on last hitting, trying to get that neurotoxin down onto Kevin, than he actually is spending on CSing, and that may come back to bite him in the butt.
One thing that we've not really seen is the junglers. They've been very, very quiet up until now with Cyanide on Mundo. Hercubot on Shen spending a lot of time getting themselves farmed here in the jungle. So we'll see how, once they start to make appearances on these lanes, how that one is going to go. Zenrator just getting some wards down. The pink ward in that Tribush obviously means that he doesn't want to risk going into that one. And we saw earlier on, you know, we can never underestimate the power of that Janna shield, as well as we are going to see Soaz here putting down good damage onto Kevin, but no kill.
Very well played there by Soaz as well, timing his cocoon and his attack perfectly with the entire minion wave sitting there to back him up. So he got all that additional free damage. Enrated and Yellow Star sitting on level 4 right now to the level 5 and 3 of Nif. So there's that little disparity. Soaz going to go on Kevin.
He's going to go in there again, but has he got the damage? Didn't really have the mana to keep that one up there, but every little bit helps in a lane, a 1 versus 1 lane like that. If you can force someone to back, you're already doing a good job of things, as Hercubot will be getting that red buff here on the top side. Of course, was stolen away for the first time, which forced him to reactionary go over to the Fnatic side of the map and take theirs. Yellow Star along with Henrator, just make sure that they don't miss a single bit of CS there underneath that tower. There's the grab coming out, doesn't land.
So Nif playing Janna's got the benefit of the passive, and we see they've gone onto Candy Panda, gonna start chasing those corrosive charges down.
But can he put the damage out that he needs here? That's the range of that when you're locked on. Is obviously the big advantage that you've got. The Yellow Star can back off a little bit, but still put out that damage that Varus can't.
So what you've seen in that particular situation was Nif literally just walked away from Enrated's Blitzcrank. With his W and his passive, he gets a lot of passive movement speed that just allows him to kite and move away from the melee Blitz. If they manage to get the slowdown from Urgot, from his E, that'll allow them to chase. But in this particular situation, Yellow Star coming off worse for wear because he's very unhealthy.
There is blue buff going over on towards Peke. He's got Vamp set to, still got the elixirs. Here comes the laser from the side. Ocelot going to snipe down Yellow Star there. As they came, they did the damage onto him in that top lane. And Ocelot coming in perfectly aimed down for a kill for SK Gaming. Puts them in the lead now.
This is exactly what we've seen out of SK when they beat Gambit last week. They made plays by coordinating their ganks and moving around the map. You've seen Ocelot, he had Final Spark, he didn't use it in the mid lane, he didn't use it to CS or to farm. He moved up, waited for the Chain of Corruption to land and blew them up. Cyanide's ghosted in for this one.
Let's see if they can get in there. Janna will put the shield on, but actually the cleaver just didn't quite land there, max its range out. And they will walk away from that one. But that's one thing that we always talk about with Ocelot, his strength at moving around the map and really helping his teammates out. The great thing about Final Spark is because of the range, you don't always have to be right up there in the lane. If you manage to get the kill like that, it's a bonus or even an assist. You go back in and you carry on farming.
And of course, we are on 3.5 balance patch, so this is live. In terms of the Lux Laser, it does have a slightly higher cooldown at ranks 2 and at ranks 3. I believe it's 5 seconds and then 10 seconds. So it's not a big change, but it is a little less as Pekka gets caught out. He's not going to burn his cleanse for that because he knows Final Spark was used fairly recently.
He is, however, 20 CS ahead of Ocelot right now. And that kill will have made up for that somewhat, as the blue buff will go over onto Lux, and the pings actually coming down there just to ward them off somewhat. So this bottom lane been fairly quiet after that first bout of fighting, and at least with the Giant Spell in there, Cutlass in there for Irelia, which is, you know, not the way that we saw really Irelia being built last time around, but that's really before that Blade of the Ruined King became popular.
Yeah, so it synergizes very well with Irelia's kit, has the ability to, you know, apply the on-hit slow. All of the attack speed just scales with the Heaton style. Then you've got your true shot, your true damage from the W, as well as the percentage HP from the item itself once it's completed. So it's a good pickup. Well, we did actually see in the middle lane, Ocelot's final spark is an off cooldown. He spammed that out in the mid lane just to get vision on Dragon. He was afraid that Fnatic were trying to pull a sneaky move. And he's just showing he's not afraid to use that ability to scout.
Yeah, I think that was due to the fact that we saw Soaz move up the river from his lane. It's down in the bottom, actually. We are seeing some damage being exchanged as Kevin is going to go in here on towards Soaz, but in the end, will back away. Did finally use that elixir, by the way.
Now, we do see that Soaz still has his Ignite available, and Kevin is going to be sustaining by auto-attacking those creeps. If Kevin stays relatively low and Soaz feels he can get the damage done, he might go aggressive. You can see he's hiding in the bottom lane, and Cyanide is sniffing around here as well. He doesn't have Ghost, but he does... Oh, he hasn't even got his ultimate available either for that movement speed. Soaz is going to go in here.
Kevin thought he might think about that one, but wise decision not to. We do have Cyanide waiting up on that top side, so Kevin has to be relatively careful here, though. I think if he turns around, he probably could end up killing Soaz either way from this one, depending on how things go, but still Cyanide waits, and in the end, I think they made the decision that nothing's going to come of that one. He will back off.
Wise play from Kevin. There just something wasn't sitting right with him, so he decided not to go aggressive under the turret, and he didn't have his ultimate available either to get that sustain on a tower dive, so he decides to play it passive and safe. In the middle lane, Pekka's finished off his Berserker's Greaves as well as that Bilgewater Cutlass, so it does look like he's going to go for AD. What this tells me is that the damage sources are going to be coming from Xpeke and a little bit from Yellow Star, and the rest of the team is going to potentially build fairly tanky and try play the protect the Ezreal type of game. So we'll see how this pans out for them. At the moment, Fnatic a kill down with 300 gold in the lead thanks to some good CS numbers.
Oh, here we go. We are going to see Stan United using good stun comes down. Can they get the taunt in? Oh, not quite. The repel coming down. Soaz going to come right back on top of him. It looks like they're going to dive straight under the tower with this one. Kevin actually tanking it up there. The Ignite is ticking away. Will he go down? That one auto attack almost saves him, but the minion will get the kill. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Candy Panda forced to use barrier. He's going to be exhausted here, but can they get those final hits off? There's a knock-up. Yellow Star had already turned away. He will flash away from this one as the Howling Gale goes past. Now Nif getting very aggressive for this one. He wanted to try and get in there. No kills, but everything blown in top lane.
Ocelots does have Final Spark available, was thinking about moving up there towards the top lane, and every single ability and summoner spell blown, with the exception of the flashes from SK. Fnatic caught the SK members up, but were unable to convert that to a kill. Look at Ocelot's position. He's going to try and look for a laser. Or is he going to back away? He's thinking about it. He wants it, but he's not 100% sure where to go.
Yeah, they don't have that vision down there that they need. That may change now, though, as SK push on towards that turret. Ocelot is currently doing the raids as the first turret of the game goes down for Fnatic in that bottom lane. That will be quickly cancelled out here in the top, though.
So in terms of CS, this is actually a big lead in this top lane. Candy Panda 112 to the 80 of Yellow Star. It's a very, very big difference between these two, and Varus scales so well. Pekka's gone aggro on Ocelot.
Yeah, he's not messing around. He's going to keep pushing in for this one. Can he get the kill? Oh, flash away from the True Shot barrage by Ocelot. That keeps him alive, but again, flash burn, always an important thing to have, especially when you're, an Ezreal. You've got that arcane shift built in there. As the laser comes across, that won't connect.
No, that was just only looking to CS, clear out the wave before Ocelot decides to back off and spend some money. What we do see is the first Blade of the Ruined King has been completed by Candy Panda literally a millisecond ago. We're going to see multiple Blades in this particular matchup. I think the Ruined King had a pretty big stockpile of them because everyone in this matchup is going to have one in their dog. We see Soaz in the bottom lane decided to go for that Sunfire Cape first to survive the auto attack damage of both Varus and Irelia.
Yeah, and one thing that really fits with that whole Ezreal combo in there is, of course, that Urgot is going to be very tanky as that game goes along. So it really will work out, or should work out. I'm not going to say will, because I don't want to curse anyone in this one, as we are going to see Candy Panda locking down Xpeke. Can he get away from the binding? Yes, he can. And there is the beauty, again, of that arcane shift. The pressure now coming in towards Enrater, but do they have the damage? Hercubot trying his best to get in. SK start to back away. Almost everything landing there. Enrater trying to get out, but Kevin will pick up the kill just in time for a red buff as well.
SK Gaming had to burn a fair amount for that little kill, but they do manage to pick it up, and they steal away the red buff. What it also means is they now have a numbers advantage if they want to force Drake. Instead, SK decide to defend this mid turret, and you can see Soaz getting some vision on the Dragon Pit to see, well, is SK Gaming going to go in for this one? Pekka may try for a True Shot Barrage steal, and we'll have to see how they play it out, as SK have begun the Dragon. Like we said, they have a numbers advantage, they have a vision advantage, but Fnatic are starting to collapse around the sides.
As the volatile Spiderling crawling out and doing the damage to SK. Dragon is still going on right now. Are they going to be able to pick this one up? Yes, they will. Smited away by Hercubot. Solid pickup, but Kevin now chasing into Yellow Star. Chances of Urgot escaping that are 0, so let's get back down onto this bottom side. There's the rappel coming in. They switch their focus onto Ocelot, who lands a light binding there on towards Soaz, and you can see how low each individual member got there, but that also tells you that the focus wasn't brilliant from Fnatic.
Fnatic splits up. They didn't have the same target in mind. They couldn't land all the damage into the same person. They positioned themselves to the side here against Ocelot. So if Enrated can get a good rocket grab, they are positioned to jump on them. But look at Soaz. He's hiding in the grass like a tarantula. He gets a cocoon.
Gets the cocoon, and surely enough damage to get the kill. Enrated pulls him out there. I thought he was going to get the knock-up just to steal away the kill, but they leave it for Xpeke. Good man to have it on, and that will be the outer middle turret. A valuable pickup here for Fnatic.
What a great combo of abilities. Soaz comes just from out of vision. At the same time that's going on, Candy Panda forces down the bottom lane, but Kevin is out for blood. The Mystic Shot did not connect from Peke, so he's not 100% sure that Kevin is there. Well, they did see him in the ward, so his guesstimate work will let him know.
Bottom lane was being pressured by Candy Pan here as well, taking over half the HP away from that turret. But Cyanide did come into cover, and look at this. Kevin's already taken down Yellow Star once, and he wants another go at him. Let's see if he can go straight over the wall. Xpeke is just off to the south.
Now, we take a look. The Blade is available, as is Ignite for Kevin. So if he does decide to go in there, he's got a lot of damage that he can put down, but not a lot of CC. And I think that was the main problem for Kevin. He could jump on and get Yellow Star low, but all it would do is reveal that he's out of position without any backup from the rest of his team. And crucially, Hercubot does not have Stand United available, so he had no worldwide backup from that ability.
That's a reason that he's not going to bother with that one. Let's have a look down the other items that are coming in at this stage. We do have that Sunfire kit for Elise that was done earlier. Blade of the Ruin King, of course, for Irelia. Let's focus in onto the AD carries, or what the AD carry players are playing in this game, at least, I think we can say. Giant Spell, Brutalizer, Tio Ninja Tabi, pretty standard stuff there for an Urgot. He's 129 to 135 CS behind currently to the Varus of Candy Panda with the Blade of the Ruin King already built up in there with the Berserker Greaves. You can see that the gold is within about 200.
Yeah, it's very close across the board. I mean, it's about 1,000 gold in total, and there is an additional tower picked up there for Fnatic. So, we'll see how it begins to match up. In terms of itemization, however, Peke just got a nice big power spike. He spent close to 3 grand on items. Finished that Blade of the Ruin King, as well as picked up a pickaxe. Unfortunately, Fnatic are completely out of position, and they are nowhere near that bottom lane turret. SK pick it up completely for free. What Fnatic have decided to do, they want to try pressure this top lane, and if you look at the positioning there of Cyanide and Soaz, they either want to jump onto Kevin, or they're looking for Ocelot, because they feel they've got the vision advantage.
Yep, and they are still in there. As we see the push from SK coming down, there's a True Shot Barrage to try and force SK to back away from this tower. SK actually did get hit there with the Howling Gale. Meanwhile, the 2 invaders in that top side of the jungle came away to the outer turret, managed to pick that one off. So that's a 3-2 turret lead for Fnatic, but they're probably going to need to help here on the bottom.
Now, Enrated was positioning just around the side, so if the SK members had continued to pressure, they may have been caught up by the rocket grab. What we do see is red buff has actually been picked up by Kevin. That hasn't been allowed to linger because they're afraid of it being stolen away. Having lost that top tower and knowing that 3 members of Fnatic are in the area, they just want to secure the buff for their team and not give away any objectives to their opponents. Now, all of a sudden, the duo lane of Xpeke and Enrated, it's a sentence I never thought I'd be saying, is pushing on this bottom lane with Ezreal and Blitzcrank. And you're going to have a straight-up battle like we've seen in many solo queue matches. Blitz Ez versus Janavarus.
And the story's worse if you factor in the fact that Ezreal is at almost 200 CS right now, 100 pickaxe, Berserker Greaves, and that Blade of the Ruin King going head-to-head there. So that's something they need to be a little bit careful about in that one. But things starting to quieten down somewhat as we hit that 20-minute stage. You've just seen the second Locket being picked up, this time over with the jungler for Fnatic. What else do we have really of note? Not too much in there, although we have to say, looks needlessly large rod added in now to that Athene's Unholy Grail is a nice spike of damage.
So with Ocelot, he's going to be looking to target either Soaz or Peke in these engagements because they're going to be the squishier ones. At the moment, Soaz has HP, but not a lot of magic resist, so he can be chunked down. Outside of that, I don't see him being able to blow up Mundo, Urgot, or Blitzcrank. And that's one thing that does play into Fnatic's favor. If they can survive the burst because they've got naturally beefy and tanky champions, it's obviously going to help them out. And that's going to help Yellowstar a lot because he's just got that Randian's Omen. So even if Irelia, Shen, and Varus get in range, they're going to have their movement speed debuffed, their attack speed debuffed, and Varus, who does not have any additional attack speed right now, his damage will be crippled quite significantly.
Candy Panda's still pushing out though. Needs to be careful because he is isolated from the rest of his team. Fnatic, of course, pushing this middle lane out. They'd already taken previously that outer turret there, so there's nothing to fall back on from SK, and as such, they're not going in. As a true shot barrage comes across, doesn't quite catch Candy Panda. Well, let's see if Soaz can actually land the cocoon. It was very close, but no cigar.
No cigar this time around. Candy Panda literally just walks away from that one. And you can see that Cyanide and Enrated, they're hanging around in the jungle. Cyanide stood on top of a ward, so SK have full understanding that Fnatic are trying to be sneaky. And at the moment, they have the vision advantage. So as he's been caught up, and there's 4 SK.
Here we go, Stan United's going to be used. He's locked down by Varus. Ocelot picks up his second kill of the game, and that's all just about vision there. SK had the tabs on him the entire time, and it comes perfectly in time for that Dragon spawn.
The last time Fnatic lost a member, it was in the bottom lane. It almost resulted in that Dragon engagement. This time around, it's a 4 versus 5. We might see a true shot barrage attempted steal just because of Pekka's positioning. Actually, it's just going to be a Mystic shot to try and be super cheeky. He doesn't manage to pull it away. In actual fact, Hercubot missed the smite there because it was Ocelot that picked up the last hit.
Yeah, Hercubot decided, I don't need to use smite. No need for that one. We'll save it for later to maybe steal away something else. But I see there XPK going back. I'm guessing he's got a decent stack of gold to be spending on his next trip home. So yeah, 1800 there you see. So he'll be picking up a VF sword next into the mix from that one.
So he's probably going to make his way towards that Infinity Edge, and then obviously have the attack speed from the Blade of the Ruined King, as well as his passive Rising Spell Force, which is always going to be beneficial. He is definitely the damage dealer for the team, and it's going to be up to Cyanide, Yellowstar, and Enrated to effectively run interference and protect him in engagements. If Enrated can get a good hook, they've got quite a fair amount of CC to lock them down. Hook into knock-up, into swap. You've got the cocoon as well, but there are a lot of them are skill shot based, which does imply that if somebody's quick enough, like we've seen from Nif earlier, he can flash to safety. Fnatic are grouped up as 4 or 5 in the middle now, and SK will have to be on their toes to defend this.
Pushing in, there's the grab, and he will actually land onto Hercubot. He's in a lot of trouble here. He's not tanky enough, surely, to survive this one as he tries to get away. He's going to be swapped out there, which wasn't needed in the end. They got that kill, and that will be a 1-for-0 for Fnatic, at least for now, because Kevin is chasing him down towards Cyanide. Can they lock him up? Yes, Kevin gets that kill. There's the repel coming out from Elise, but Yellowstar now is in trouble as well. There's Candy Panda hammering away from them. He's going to be exhausted. That will save him for a while, but it's a double kill for Kevin as they chase off towards XPK. He will try to get away, but gets slowed double times from this. Has to cleanse that one off, and he's still trying to run here from Candy Panda.
He's got no mana.
Who's still giving chase. Yeah, indeed, no mana left here for XPK. Can he escape? Ocelot going to come in from the side of this one. There's the laser. It misses, but it won't matter. It's Nip that picks it up.
They managed to pick up 1 for 3 in that trade. Fnatic blew so many spells and ultimates and abilities just to get Hercubot out of the engagement, and that just meant that Kevin and Candy Panda had a free ride to clean house. Because of all the work that SK did in this bottom lane, Candy Panda is going to pick this tower up for free, and without any threat of reprisal, he's just going to pick it up and back away. Great play for SK Gaming. They take a commanding lead right now as far as gold is concerned, and in terms of the team fights, they're in a stronger position, but they want Candy.
Has Candy Panda overstayed his welcome? You can see a speedy Mundo coming in from that top side. One spear, one axe will be enough there, and it just ranges out before it can land, and you will walk away. Jana coming to do a bit of safety work on him as well. SK leading in the kills right now at 8-4.
And so has burnt his flash for that as well, so he literally used everything possible to try and catch Candy Panda down. Very good team fight for SK, and if Fnatic continue to use all of their abilities on the tank, on the support jungler tank, they will lose the engagements. They need to kill either Kevin or Candy Panda in those engagements, because Ocelot, they can survive his burst. He's not as much of a threat to them as the constant auto attacks that will come down from the other two.
Well, I would agree with you about 20 seconds ago, but now he's picked up that Ravenon's death cap. Might change things somewhat. But you're totally right in that last one. I mean, Hercubot, yes, he died, but he soaked up so many abilities from it that SK were like, well, they've got nothing to kill us right now. We can just chase them down and do exactly that.
And the chasing power of 2 Blade of the Rune Kings, Light Binding, plus the Blade Surge as well as the Equilibrium Strike from Aurelia, her Q and her E, plus the slow from Janet and the knockup. That's a never-ending chase team that can literally stick to you wherever you are because every single one of their teammates or abilities has some form of crowd control or slow in their back pocket.
So let's have a look at some of the other items being picked up now. Giant's Belt and the Warden's Mail coming out for Irelia. On the other side, we are going to see another Giant's Belt. I say another Giant's Belt. The first Giant's Belt for Shen added into it there. Haunting Guise for Elise. So generally a step up to the last time we looked at it. Also that Aegis of the Legion we should point out for Blitzcrank.
So he's the only one with an Aegis right now. Shen can decide to go for an Aegis with that Ruby Crystal and Null Magic, or he could go for a Warmogs. At the moment, Soaz is going to go toe-to-toe with Kevin, and I don't think he can win this fight.
Well, especially not with the fact that Varus and Shen are both coming in from this bottom side. Is he going to die? No, quite. He gets a repel up there, and yeah, he gets killed there in the end. Shen coming in from the top. Don't think it was really needed there from Hercubot, but he didn't want that to happen as they go in towards Ocelot. There's a big monsoon.
Oh!
Nif gets pulled out of it as the cleaver will land as well, and that's 2 very nicely sewn up kills from Fnatic.
So they got the Stand United in the top lane that forced Shen out of the fight. As soon as that ability was down, the rest of Fnatic said go, go, go. They picked a fight in the mid lane. They pick up 2 kills, and now a 4 versus 3. They want this inner turret. N-Rated is just running interference. He's got a rocket grab available, and if anybody is in range of that Piltover Customs Blitzcrank, they're in trouble.
Yeah, and that's the danger of it, you know. Nif came in to save with the monsoon. He gets pulled out. Thank you very much as Hercubot does get pulled in. He managed to get the taunt off as the ultimate comes out of Candy Panda. But who are they focusing here? Urgot and Mundo are both very, very tanky into this one. Xpeke will go in, couple of hits, Arcane shift away, and now Kevin and Candy Panda, will they chase? No.
They were thinking about that one. The rest of the team was alive, and Ocelot could have chased and put down that laser if they got some damage down. Instead, they decided to back away, but Fnatic, they did not have their eyes on the prize, and they were looking in different directions, different objectives and focus. They did also get the Chain of Corruption out of Candy Panda under the tower, so if they pick another engagement for the next minute or so, they have that advantage. Crucially for Fnatic, they still have this mid turret up, which you can see SK are immediately going, well, we'd really like to get rid of this right now.
Well, Dragon is also now back on the field. That will be a prime target, especially when you look at the gold totals. 39.4 to 39.4. Very, very even here, as that Dragon will be started by SK Gaming and rated off to the side, looking for a cheeky pull over the side.
This is the first time the Fnatic have had a 5-man in the Dragon Pit to battle off against SK. They've been picked off before, and it's cost them. You can see Kevin is out of position. The rest of SK may be forced to try save him.
Fnatic coming around the side. Will the Cocoon land here for Soaz? And no, flashed away from there by Kevin. Didn't want to risk that whatsoever. The angle was good. Not sure if the range was there, but either way, that flash will be burnt out there. And SK, now they're caught out of position here, off towards the side. Interesting to see whether Fnatic back off to Dragon now.
It does look like they've done so. They didn't have Pekka there either, so it was a 4 versus 5, which is why Fnatic were really just trying to force them backwards. Crucially, Infinity Edge has now been picked up, so Pekka has an item advantage over his, let's call it opponent Candy Panda, who's only got the pickaxe and that BF sword. Once again, we see the stalemate in the river. This time around, Soaz is a little out of position. He's going to be required to hot-foot it down. The rocket grab goes out and doesn't manage to catch Candy Panda, but Fnatic want this fight.
Fnatic starting to work in there. Yellow start. Now, even though technically the AD carry, he could go in there. He's very tanky, but he gets chunked down by the laser. Will he get finished here? Kevin's right in on top of him. There's a Randuin's going to be used. Stan United will be coming in here as well. Nif going very, very low. Doesn't need much more. Soaz will get the finisher, but Soaz himself is forced to flash away over the top. Candy Panda will give chase, picks up the kill, and that will be a 2-for-1 for SK.
2 for 1, and I didn't see if the Dragon went down. It did not, so the Dragon is still available. Fnatic took way too much damage way too early, and Yellowstar couldn't even get his hyperkinetic position reverser off. He just got bursted down with all of that HP, but he needs magic resist. Null Magic Mantle will help a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to survive that Death Cap Sorcerer's Shoes Lux.
Yeah, and that was half the problem, that Yellowstar was destroyed so early on in that fight. I said that, you know, because he is that tanky, he could maybe just get in there first, and, well, apparently not for that one. As the Dragon will be started here by SK again.
So we see a Fnatic once again, 4 versus 5 on the map when Dragon is going down. It will be picked up by SK. yet again, but they still only have a 2,000 gold advantage. Because of the map presence and the roaming, it's allowed Fnatic time to CS and to farm. Their top laner has 40 CS more. Their mid laner has 50 CS more. It's only the AD carries of Urgot and Varus that are, in favor of SK Gaming right now. Very, very close game, and we've seen engagement victories for both teams in these little skirmishes. But in the big 5-on-5 team fights, it appears that SK simply have a stronger team.
It certainly looks that way. We've got Oracles coming now onto the map. Cyanide is going to be clearing out the SK ward on that Baron pit. One can assume that Nif, there he is, also has that Oracle elixir running and will be clearing things off. Obviously, doesn't want Hercubot to be having that that Oracle again. We saw how many wards he walked over in that last game. Nif taking that job back for this one. There is Kevin pushing out this top lane as well. He's currently 5-1-3. We've commented before that we have some top Irelia players. You look towards Wicked, for example, for that one. But Kevin's really the only one who's dared to bring Irelia to the table on more than one occasion.
And he's making it work. That's the key thing. He's playing the champion, playing very aggressive with the champion as well, and actually building differently. Like I said, in the opening of the show, that he does or has tended to build very tanky. In this particular engagement, he's going a bit more aggressive. And Rated's popped the overdrive. He's trying to get in range. You see how powerful that Howling Gale is, just immediately countering the ability to land hooks. The rest of Fnatic still want this fight, and once Cyanide joins the party in the mid lane, you can expect him to go in.
Fnatic just being forced back there. See the Q landing from Candy Panda on towards Xpeke, but they can quite easily fight that back with that Infinity Edge, with the Blade of the Ruined King as well. Ezreal does hit hard. He's got 300 CS at this point as well. And if we look over, that Black Cleaver added in for Urgot certainly helps things out as well. So, where's the next fight going to be coming in this one? Because right now, half of the map each.
There's no better way to put that, actually. They've got half the map each, and look at SK Ocelot's position. He's waiting to get that light binding on his half of the map if Fnatic decide to step over the threshold of that safety limit. We see Peke once again using True Shot Barrage just to clear out a wave and try to get them some, a lane control in terms of the minions. Decides he wants to spend some money. The rest of SK are close, but it turns out they want this fight. The hook goes out. It doesn't manage to catch Candy Panda. He manages to live another day. While that hook is down, you can see SK immediately. They turn on the pressure and they push forward towards Fnatic.
Yeah, that's really the only thing that they need to be super afraid of from, decent long range. Obviously, Soaz could lock them down after that as well.
The cocoon,
as I'm just talking about it. Ocelot here, going to be getting caught out. Stan United going to come in. Will it be quick enough, though? Yes, it will. Hercubot comes down, but Soaz will get the kill. Kevin is right in the middle of the rest of them here as well. Have they got enough damage to finish off Kevin? He gets a kill onto Urgot, but they're still pushing here. Fnatic focusing in onto Candy Panda. He's going to get dropped by Xpeke, who records a double kill, and Fnatic now with 4 men against 2 are going to head north to Baron.
That is the power of a pick, finding one person, blowing them up, and allowing the rest of your team to win. Yellowstar has unbound his R key because, again, he did not use his position reverser. My man, you've got Urgot, you need to use this ability. The rest of Fnatic have decided to put pressure on Baron, while Peke is running interference on Hercubot, just trying to force him away. That's a 3-man Baron. Yellowstar's not going to respawn by the time it comes up. But a very good fight for Fnatic, and the only reason it actually won was because they caught Ocelot very, very alone and away from the rest of his team.
Well, this game being super close, but that kind of echoes in your head the last time that these two are more than even once early on in the season when Ocelot said, we always throw it against Fnatic. We always throw it. This game wasn't as close cut. Was a lot more closely cut than the others that we've seen being turned around. But Fnatic, we saw in that last team fight that they definitely can do the business. But that was also because Ocelot was caught out of position. I was just talking about how the fact that they probably don't need to be so scared now that Enrated grabs down. And just as I say it, we see Soaz managing to land the cocoon.
The reason that they managed to do that as well, there was 3 wards in and around that banana bush, the river, and towards the side. So Fnatic actually knew where SK Gaming was, and that actually allowed Soaz to just roam around to the side and manage to pick up that particular kill. So well played to them. We do see that Yellowstar has completed his Mirror Mana, and of course in this patch it has been rechanged so it deals physical damage as opposed to magic damage, and that is just going to make all of his abilities hit that much harder. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for something like maybe either a GA or a Hex Drinker from that Null Magic Mantle, because he needs some form of survivability against those Lux lasers.
Runic Bulwark also finished now for both teams, we should add. Let's see the protection that gives in the end can't be underestimated, and as kind of an answer to that one as well, in those magic resistor bits that we've got in there, Void Staff picked up by Lux.
So whatever magic resist you do build up is just going to be shredded and negated by that item. Fnatic, they are sitting in a bush which cost them a life and a dragon earlier in the game. They've learned from that past mistake and they are grouped up. Also, Soaz wasn't there, but they've gone in. Overdrive is up, and Rated is looking for that rocket grab. He's looking to pull somebody out, while the rest of his team lands a couple of auto attacks onto that turret. They did a good few hundred damage, but Peke maybe tanking it up for a little too long.
Well, he has managed to get all that back there after taking down the blue buffers. There we are going to see True Shot Barrage come across. It's mainly chunked against Nif there as they start to work in again for those hits. As we are going to see Ocelot pulled right back. He will flash away. Varus ultimate comes out, but can they follow in? Candy Panda backs off. This turret is going to be picked up by Fnatic.
Very, very good play. They burned a couple of ultimates there. The Xpeke is going to have his available shortly thanks to the cooldown reduction from his Mystic Shot. What they do force is Ocelot's flash. If he gets hooked again, he's going to be in trouble. Look at the play there from Peke. He positions under the tower, uses his Essence Flux on his teammates to not only increase his attack speed, but his teammates as well. And Fnatic are not done with this push. Ocelot forced to clear minion wave with Final Spark.
There was the laser coming out, the cock not actually landing there, but they've taken the inhibitor turret. That leaves now that naked inhibitor for the taking here for Fnatic. And SK say, well, we can't really defend this one. Hercubot in the meantime is actually pushing down the middle lane. This is, you know, a bit of a, if they can take it, a nice move out of Hercubot, but you have to wonder if the damage is going to be enough.
Fnatic have split up a little bit. Enrated is about to be seen, and the rest of Fnatic not really in position. Hercubot did not get that inner turret, and they literally gave up an inhibitor for free SK Gaming. So Fnatic are going to be very happy with that trade. Baron Nashor is about to wear out for them if I look at the buff timer, and that just means they've positioned themselves very nicely that at the, by the time the next Baron respawns, they'll still have super minions in this bottom lane.
There was the Dragon taken by Xpeke as well to add to that gold total. Almost a 5,000 gold lead. 500 wouldn't be that impressive. But they're certainly in the driving seat for this one. A lot of gold to spend as well for Fnatic right now.
Not only that, look at the difference between Peke and Ocelot. 15,600 to 11,600 and almost 100 CS. So that gold difference of 5k, that's with Xpeke. It's in his pocket. He's the man with the bulging wallet right now, and he has just spent that on some more items. So incredibly powerful, strong player.
Let's see then where these next pickups are going to be. If we look down the list, we did see the Bloodthirster picked up by Xpeke. Randuin's Omen coming in for Munna. So that's 2 Randuins we've got now on this Fnatic side.
And I'm quite happy to see that a chain vest has been completed for Yellow Star. So it does look like he's going towards that Guardian Angel. I'm really straining my brain to think about the position reverser like that's been used in a team fight. Outside of the lane, I genuinely don't believe he's actually had one there. So if he gets the GA up and running, he's got that extra lease on life that he can come back to life and use the position reverser either pre or post GA proc. So I like to pick up from him once he gets enough money.
Yeah, and the thing is, they always pull someone in there right at the start. So he's kind of the second line there when they start to get involved, to pull that position reverser out and disable someone for that amount of time to see if they can get through the attacks. As Henrated here charging up through the jungle, sticks a ward down.
The ward, if that had come out like a second or two earlier, he would have actually seen Nif and been able to go for the rocket grab, but he didn't actually have vision of Nif. The rest of Fnatic, they've completely zoned out SK. They pick up their 7th tower of the game. Super minions are pushing down the bottom lane. It's about to get onto the Nexus, and Hercubot is the man that has been said, defend the base, man. You need to do this. The rest of Fnatic, they want to fight up top.
Now we saw Kevin trying to get in there for that one, but they can't afford to do something uncoordinated here. From SK's perspective, it's got to be perfect as the hook comes in. Not quite landing though. Xpeke gets another couple of hits off onto the turret.
The people in the audience all clinching in unison. Ooh, as that rocket grab almost catches up. For the time being, Fnatic have got this tower down to half, and they continue the pressure. The amount of sustain that Peke's got with that Bloodthirster and the Blade of the Ruined King means whatever tower damage he takes, he simply heals it back off for the minions. Enrated's going forward and look for the grab. Can he hook anybody? They're going for the second inhibitor, and he still hasn't used that ability. But SK, they've picked the fight.
They're going to go in for this one. Cyanide will use that Randuin, but where is the kill's going to come? Oh my god, Nif just knocked them out of position there of the laser. There is a position position reverser coming in from Yellow Star. You can see how tanky he is as a true shot barrage comes across. Candy Panda falling very low. Kevin low and Rated low. Everyone's low in that middle of the fight there. But you can see Fnatic are the ones being chipped away at. Double kill coming out for Varus. Peke gonna try and escape. He will take down Varus, but the rest of the team come in after a bit of healing there for Kevin. He's gonna try and chase out. Ocelot is there with him as well. Can they catch up with Mundo? Can they catch up with Soaz here? And, well, it doesn't look like it for now, but that laser is going to be coming off cooldown here in just a second. Ocelot may choose to use that on the top side here.
He's going to need more than just the laser. Cynide's got 1200 HP. The rest of SK are trying to position. They think Baron's coming up, and it will be in 3 seconds. Will Cyanide stick around? The end of that engagement was a 1-for-3, and Kevin just went Ultra Mega Man mode. He took on 3 members of Fnatic alone. Not only did he survive, he picked up the fight. Dr. Mundo wants more. Can he steal? Cyanide is probably famed for more Baron steals than any other jungler in the scene, but he doesn't have flash to get in there. We'll see if he's going to decide to go in for this.
Well, there is a ward there at the back, and it looks like he is going to pop the ultimate. He's going to go in for it. Oh, you're not quite getting it, and that will surely be his life coming in from this one as well. He is pretty damn tanky, though. He's trying to get away from it.
Super Minions are on the base, and now Soaz is going to run interference. If they can delay enough for Super Minions to pick up one turret, that is going to be a very big victory. Unfortunately, Soaz does decide to back away. He's not finished just yet, though, as Enrated now joins the party. Soaz has interrupted the recall. Varus is left alone to defend the Nexus turret while the rest of Fnatic keep the pressure on. This game is far from over because SK had the advantage of Baron buff if they continue with the team fights.
There is Candy Pan, who's done a good job there of keeping those super minions off. Let's have a look at the Nexus turrets here and see how low they actually got during that one. You see the right-hand side one is down very, very low. So, no, obviously they are going to be reaching, but not exactly at lightning pace from that one. So SK need to stall here for as long as they can.
And crucially, the inhibitor respawned on the bottom lane. So it's bought them more time that the only lane with super minions, once they've killed off the last few, will be the top lane. And you've got that little bit of respite, a little bit of breathing room in your base to know that minions are not simply going to be bashing in your Nexus turrets. What we do see from Fnatic is all of those chain vests. Look at how much armor they are all stacking up. They are more afraid of Kevin and of Candy Panda than that of Ocelot because they feel that they can position correctly or they can allow Nif's Howling Gale to knock them to safety when that final spark comes down.
Yeah, that was not the best coordinated ever, but actually SK, you know, they probably would have won that fight a lot earlier if that laser had actually connected at the time that it did. But we're talking about now a Baroned up SK game, and as such Fnatic, you could probably have expected that. They're not pushing in quite so heavy right now. They're happy to soak up as much from the jungle as they can, push these lanes out constantly, and then wait until that Baron has timed out, and then maybe look for that all-important pick again.
Even stealing away the red buff. So now that they've got super minions in their opponent's base and they've got vision advantage, look at all those Fnatic wards near and around the red buff. It's just going to allow them to control that side of the map. Peke has waited out this dragon pit for the full 30 seconds it took to spawn. He didn't quite have the exact timing on that, but nevertheless he's going to take that away, increase that goal lead to a mere 4,000, which at this stage in the game is practically nothing. Everybody has sort of hit critical points in terms of their items, and every little bit is of course going to help. We do see Yellow Star's Guardian Angel has been picked up, so he may actually be more of a factor in these team fights because he hasn't offered all that much outside of being a target to be shot.
And one thing we didn't talk about is the Quicksilver Sash in there for Varus as well. And you know, you look down that Fnatic team, and as the AD carry, you pretty much need to cleanse all the Quicksilver Sash in there.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things that now Yellow Star can effectively not target Candy Panda with that flash position reverser because of how powerful the QSS is. So Candy Panda's got that room of safety. He's had that for quite a while, but he hasn't quite been in a position where it's been the difference between life and death just yet. At the moment, the rest of Fnatic, they're stacking up pretty much around this top side of the jungle because that's where most of their vision was accumulated. They knew where SK was because they've even got, those are SK wards in the bottom half of the jungle. And just playing it out slowly and passively. I imagine they just want to wait out the Baron buff to wear away before they pick a big fight.
Yeah. And SK from their side, they'll be wanting to make sure that that inhibitor comes up without them losing that one in the bottom lane, or maybe even more importantly, this inhibitor turret in that middle lane. That's surely a vital one for them, as we are going to see now them going in. Kevin actually diving right into the middle of the team. Stan United going to come out as well. The Randuin's going to be popped. The laser will hit 3 from Fnatic. Yellow Star going low. Are they going to chase off to try and finish up? Look at Candy Panda. He's full HP as Yellow Star's Guardian Angel gets popped, but they finish him straight off after that one. And Fnatic, after all that waiting, didn't wait long enough for the Baron buff to go down. And that's what I almost don't understand from that.
They managed to secure the tower. XPEC has been knocked up. The slow is there, and Kevin, he might be able to get the slow. The cocoon slows him down.
Running in still though here is Ocelot. He's going to get more damage in. SK have forced Fnatic right away. Here comes a true shot barrage across, and it will not help off SK, who finally now that Baron buff has run out.
SK are so healthy after that entire engagement, but there are super minions on their top lane inhibitor, which has respawned. Fnatic are just trying to interrupt them as much as possible to see if they can buy time for the minions to do the work. Luckily, Hercubot has been able to recall and get to safety. But again, we see one of the situations where SK, they win the team fight, but because of how little map control they have, they cannot convert it to anything. They can't even take their own buffs because they've spent so much time in their own base.
Kind of pushing out this bottom lane. They don't want to let Fnatic have the chance to get in there and get rid of that inhibitor another time, as there is a ward cleared out. And Fnatic obviously did a decent job of clearing the top side last time. SK, though, after forcing them back, have said we need vision back. We have to have vision in all sides of that jungle. They've managed to do that on this top line, on this top side, at least with a almost a line defense of wards coming down to spot those Fnatic positions. Baron is up in 2 minutes time right now. SK, of course, have the perfect timing down on that one. Fnatic as well will have seen it because, of course, Cyanide did go in there to try for the steal.
So they know roughly what the time is, and very crucially, both of Elise and Ezreal still have their GAs up and available. So even if they pick another big team fight, they'll have both of those damage-dealing sources have the ability to respawn. Previously, Yellow Star was, caught in no man's land, surrounded by 4 members of SK, and the rest of Fnatic weren't really in a position to team fight that, which is why he died even after that ability was used, or the GA was used. In this particular situation, it's going to be almost like a 7 versus 5. We do see that the Fura boots have been picked up for XPEC, so just going to give him that temporary movement speed boost while he's auto-attacking his targets.
Which for Kiting is always a bit of a bonus to have in there. What else have we had picked up here? Static Shiv added in for Varus, which, when you've got lanes pushing against you, that Shiv is definitely not a bad item to have in there.
No, not at all. It's slightly different because Varus has got pretty good wave clear with his piercing arrow and his hail of arrows, so we do tend to see Phantom Dancer, especially when you consider he's got an Infinity Edge as well. But I feel like Candy Panda may be in a position where he's under pressure. He doesn't have enough mana to finish off the likes of a Phantom Dancer, and he's going to get that additional damage, that additional statistics that the Static Shift gives you right now. And, in a game that's this close and this tense, that little bit of magic damage may actually be the difference between securing a kill and, going down yourself.
20, or scratch that, 15 seconds until that Baron is back in play. Fnatic starting to move in there. We have Shen in the top lane here with Hercubot, and I have the feeling we're going to see a lot of jockeying for position, and Soaz going to get hit with a lot here. The ultimate comes down from Varus, but there is the repel coming in. Are they going to commit to this one? Kevin right in the middle, Soaz going low. Where is the laser from Ocelot? There it is. It lands only on Cyanide, not the target that it needed to hit, as we are seeing Fnatic starting to push SK back. Soaz, though, will have his Guardian Angel pop. The focus turns on towards Yellow Star. There's the pull onto Ocelot, who's going to go straight down in this one, and that will be a 1-for-1 up until now. But is this one over? Howling Gale comes across the knock-in rated in the air. Kevin is still hanging around from this one, and Fnatic have XPEC, who's got the GA. Oh, flash away there from that grab by Varus. And what is the plan now? There's the true shot barrage coming over. Are Fnatic going to look to push straight down this middle lane? And Rated is the one zooming in there. Of course, there are no inhib turrets left alive from this one. Looks like Rated may try for the grab, and he pulls Kevin in there. He will get destroyed out by Soaz, and the rest of SK now definitely not safe, but Fnatic more interested in taking the inhibitor.
And that's a 4 versus 3. They are low on HP, but the Guardian Angel is still available for Peke. Do they want to go for all 3 inhibs? That is the question. 28 seconds on Ocelot's respawn timer. The rest of the team is respawned. Chain of Corruption will be up very, very soon. Wisely, Fnatic decide to back away. They'll clear out the jungle and then position for Baron. that whole thing started because SK were a little overzealous. They had positional advantage, they had vision advantage on the Baron pit, and they felt that that alone would give them the advantage in the team fight. Kevin, he channeled his inner Chuck Norris and took on 5 members of Fnatic and got away with his life up until an inhibitor battle. And Fnatic are really struggling to deal with him. And again, Yellowstar, way too late with that ultimate in the team fights.
And let's see, I mean, Ocelot's ultimate was held back as well, and it only hit the Mundo. We've seen what a difference that can make here. As Enrated, he's actually going to get the pull. He's onto Hercubot, though. It's probably not even worth following up.
The psychological effect that will have, though, of Hercubot going, well, they hooked me, that means someone must be around, forces him to play defensive. Fnatic have got great positioning on Baron, and they're trying to zone it out. Cyanide is dropped low. He does have his ultimate, which he's just activated. Baron is down to about 50%, and Peke is body blocking the members of SK. It looks like they're going to get this.
Baron is going very low here from this one. The ultimate of Varus won't connect. Baron still not been finished. There it is. Fnatic pick up Baron. They turn around now as the laser comes across from Ocelot. There is a position reversal coming in. Actually got knocked away from that one, but both teams are very low there. Luck's going to kill Elise, and Rated going low as well. Where's the finisher? It's a double kill for Lux. Kevin low. There is the drop of Varus. XPeke doing a lot of damage in here, though, with Yellowstar. Can they get the finisher? It will be a double for XPeke as he chases down Ocelot. There is the Guardian Angel going to be popped as Stan United comes in as well. The taunt lands perfectly. XPeke will arcane shift away, but he gets shut down, and now Yellowstar in trouble, but he gets the kill in the end onto Ocelot. Yellowstar is still alive. Hercubot is very healthy, but the two of them just absolutely battering him away. He's been kited with the slow there off that cleaver, and they will pick up the kill in the end. Hercubot realizing he's got no damage whatsoever. Yellowstar and Cyanide finish it off. Have they, though, got the time to finish the game? It's 30 seconds until the first man of SK comes up here. Those inhibitor turrets, look at the heal there from Cyanide's ultimate. He goes up to full HP.
There is more than enough damage here from Cyanide and Yellowstar to finish this one out, but that has to be a record for one of the longest team fights in competitive League of Legends history. It just went back and forth and on and on. Crucially for Fnatic, they kept Yellowstar and Peke alive for the majority of that. They were able to put the damage down, which allowed both Cyanide and Yellowstar to clean up the fight. What